Have you ever heard of chromatophobia? Chromatophobia, I think I pronounced that right. Well, actually, it's the phobia of money. It's the phobia of spending money. It's the phobia of anything that's to do with money. Why do I raise that? Now, I'm not raising that to make light of it. You know, that it's obviously a condition, one that is caused by a very, very severe relationship with money. But the reason I raise it is because it actually triggers a thought with regards to the money mindset. And a lot of businesses that I work with, and not so much the businesses, but the business owners, it's the money mindset that they have towards finances in their business. And, you know, if I can put it really bluntly, which is what I generally do, it's kind of ignorance. And not through a conscious ignorance, but one that has been born through the environment that you've grown up with in terms of your relationship with money. So let me give you an example of this myself. 12 years ago, when I started my coaching practice, I had what I later found out was a poor money mindset. So, you know, when I was growing up, you know, money was always a scarcity. There was never enough of it. Don't spend it all at once. That's too expensive. You know, you can't use that. That's your Sunday best, if any of you ever remember that stuff. And I suspect you probably have to be around my age to do that. But the reality was that, you know, for me, as I grew up, money was always something that was never enough of. And I then went on, joined the army and that. And then when I joined the army, I had this thing called Millionaire's Weekend. So once a month, the government sort of paid me my salary, and then suddenly I had all of this money, and I had no real way or understanding of what to do with that money. You know, how should I use it? I had no education in terms of money. I didn't understand money. I just understood that actually it made me feel really good for a couple of days, and then it made me feel shit for the rest of the month because I didn't have any. And then through my career, in one way or another, I would say I probably maintained that poor money mindset. And that was until I started looking at my career beyond service. When I started to look at becoming a professional coach outside of the military and coaching businesses, my hand was forced and I had to start learning and understanding money. And so I read a book called The Millionaire Mindset by Harv Eker, and I truly, truly recommend you read this book and then give it to your kids to read. Amazing. In a very, very simplest context, because it really unraveled why I thought the way I thought. Whereas now today, and I've read many books now on money, even The Psychology of Money, which is a fantastic book where we can do a bit of a review on those, or I'll do some suggestions on my top books for money education another time. But I then started to understand that actually what I needed to do was to learn and understand money, how it works, how it moves through a business, what its use is, how you use it. And here was the most crucial thing, my relationship with it. So my relationship with money today is completely different from where I was 12 years ago. Today, I see money simply as a tool. And in order to do the things that I want to do, to live the life and exist the way I want to live and exist, then I need that tool in order to fulfill that. Now, as sad as it may sound, and some of you may go up in arms in terms of that's very materialistic based and so on. You know, when we live here in the Western world, money drives everything. You know, if you want to go and live off the land, you got to buy the land. If you want to go and live to another country, you got to get there. You know, and actually, yes, you can do it all on a budget, but budget nonetheless. You know, so the reality is then actually what is it you need to do? What is the agenda to go and learn how to have what I would term as a wealthy money mindset? What I've experienced through coaching and having these conversations with multiple business owners is the majesty of then suddenly the penny dropping and the shift. You know, as a business owner, when you suddenly understand, that money is a tool, and how within the business you can generate that tool and grow your business, that in turn generates more money, which in turn will increase the growth of the business. It's phenomenal. It really is. And again, it's probably one of the reasons that I get so much fulfillment is when I see people live the life and succeed in the way that they want to succeed, and suddenly things start to fall into place. But there is no getting away from the fact that in order to do that, you have to learn money. I'll share a few books in my next post just to start and kick off that whole learning strategy. You might be surprised by some of the titles. Have a great day.